Hey everyone, it's Mark Ferguson with Invest for More, and welcome to another one of my real estate investing / real estate agent broker videos. Today I'm going to talk about real estate agents, real estate brokers, and kind of the growing trend that they aren't needed, that they'll be replaced eventually by technology. And I'm going to tell you why I don't exactly agree with that, and some reasons behind that as well. So before we get started, I've written a couple of books on being a broker, investing, which you can find on Amazon. Search for Mark Ferguson. And I've got a blog, investformore.com, which has a ton more information on investing, being an agent, being a broker. I have like 500 free articles, something like that. We do a weekly podcast. So a lot of great information there on investformore.com. All right, so first off, I am biased. I'm an agent. I'm a broker. I have my own office. I've been an investor for the last 17 years, flipping houses and buying rentals. So I am completely involved in the real estate industry. I think anybody in any business has some bias. But being in the industry, I see how important real estate agents are. And I'm going to go over a couple points that other people make about why you don't need real estate agents. And I'm going to kind of get some counterpoints, show you why we might actually need them and why they haven't been replaced up to this point. A lot of people say, well, travel agents have been replaced, stockbrokers have been replaced, all these other people have been replaced, but agents still haven't been replaced. So they're actually going probably just as strong as they were before all the technology changes. And I think technology is changing the business, will make agents work differently, but I don't think it will ever eliminate them. And one of the big things you have to consider is the product that they're selling or helping people buy and sell. And that is a house or a commercial property or a rental property. These are extremely complicated assets. Travel agents are selling a vacation. Anybody can go online, look up and see how much a flight to Florida costs and how much the hotel is going to cost. You can find those very easily. You know what you're getting. You know what the flight is. You know what the hotel is going to be. When you're dealing with a house, every single property in the world is different. It's on a different piece of land. If it's on an apartment, it's going to be in a different elevation. It's going to be in different condition. Every single property is different, and it takes someone who really knows what they're doing to value that property correctly. And that's kind of the first thing I want to start with, is the valuation of a property is one of the most important things for a buyer or a seller. A buyer doesn't want to overpay. A seller doesn't want to let a house go for less than what it's actually worth. And when you're selling a house, the seller usually pays for the real estate agent for the buyer. So the buyer has no incentive not to use an agent. In fact, they have all types of incentives to use that agent because it doesn't cost them anything. That agent helps them negotiate, helps them go through inspections, helps them go through appraisals, helps them get a loan, helps them deal with appraisal issues, loan issues, find properties. There's so many things an agent does for a buyer, and a buyer doesn't have to pay for them. So the buyer has no motivation whatsoever not to use the agent. And if you go on the flip side, for the seller, most sellers don't want to pay for an agent. But since most buyers are represented by agents, they're going to lose money or not make as much money if they don't pay that buyer's agent, because they'll lose probably at least 70% of the buyers out there or more if they aren't willing to pay that agent. The less buyers you have, the less money you're going to get for your home. So it makes sense to pay that buyer's agent. And at the same time, you probably want an agent representing you as well, because you need an agent helping you with negotiating the price, negotiating inspection items, figuring out how to work with an appraisal or a bad appraiser, figuring out how loans work, what kind of offer to accept, the contracts. Contracts are 20 or 30 pages long once you figure in all the addendums, the different disclosures, and the things that you have to do on a real estate deal. So it makes sense for the seller to use that agent, and the agent will help them value the property, which is one of the most important things a seller can do. Now, I said I invest in many properties. I buy rentals, I buy flips. Some of the best deals I get are from sellers who aren't represented by agents. They don't want to pay an agent. They want to save money by not paying a commission. Well, they almost always sell their house for less money than if they had used an agent. And a lot of times they know this. They understand it. They know I'm flipping the house. They know I'm going to make money off it. I'm not trying to trick them. They just would rather not use an agent, and they know they're going to lose money doing it. So some people have different motivation than money, and that's one huge reason why real estate agents are so important. If you price a home too high, the home can become stagnated, people won't look at it, and eventually, even if you change the price, people wonder, well, why isn't it sold in 6 months when everything else is selling in a month? It can hurt you. It'll probably sell for less money than if it was priced right to begin with. If you price a home too low, yes, you can get multiple offers. Sometimes those offers will be higher than list price. But in my experience, a lot of times those offers won't be as high as if you had priced a home right to begin with. Plus, if you price a home too low, you might be dealing with multiple offers, 10 different people wanting to offer on your house. It can be really tricky knowing how to handle that, not to scare people off, and get the most money at the same time. Now, if you're selling a house for sale by owner without an agent and you price a home too low, many agents won't see the house, many buyers won't see it, and there's a good chance you won't get those multiple offers either. You'll just get one offer, accept it, not knowing you just left $20,000 on the table. So in the long run, by trying to save that 3%, 6%, 7%, 5%, whatever the commission is, they're all negotiable, there's no set commission, the seller is probably going to lose more than that by selling the house for less than what market value is. And that's why real estate agents are so important and why they probably aren't going away. Just for that one fact that many sellers know, agents will actually make them more money on the sale than it costs them to pay that agent. And then you're talking about the complications of creating a contract, figuring out financing, inspections, appraisals, showings. There's a lot that goes into buying and selling houses. It is not the same thing as going online, going on Kayak, finding a vacation package and buying it in a couple hours. Big difference. And that's kind of why real estate agents have survived, because it's such a complicated process, because it's hard to value houses. It's not easy. Even real estate investors I know and work with have a hard time valuing properties after they've bought quite a few of them. And it all comes down to every property being different, a different location, different features, different bedrooms, different sizes, different conditions. So there's a lot that goes into selling houses. Now, there's something else to consider with real estate agents when selling a house, and that's liabilities, lawsuits. If you aren't using an agent, you open yourself up to not doing the contracts right, to not disclosing things you're supposed to disclose simply because you don't know about it, maybe misleading people. And there's a lot of liability in selling assets that are hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's not just a simple little mistake, that you can fix. Many lawsuits happen, and most lawsuits that happen with houses are ones that aren't involved with agents because something was done wrong, because they didn't know what they're doing, the home sellers, home buyers. So there's that side of it to consider as well. And then there's a time factor. How much time is it going to take you to set up showings, to show houses, to figure out how to write a contract, to figure out what inspection, you should agree to, not agree to, figure out how to prepare for the appraisal, the loan, when closing should be, what should be included in the closing. There's all kinds of things that go into it. And if you do go at it on your own, you might have to have an attorney review contracts and make sure things are set up right, which can cost you money as well. And in the end, you may not even be saving that much money by not using an agent. So yes, technology has changed things. There's Zillow, there's Trulia, there's Realtor.com, there's Redfin, all kinds of sites that advertise houses for sale. It is easier to find houses now than it was before. But the tricky part about buying and selling houses is not just finding houses for sale, it's completing the entire process. And when you find those houses for sale, how do you know if it's a good deal? How do you know if it's the right price? There's a lot that goes into it. If you're selling a house on one of those sites, again, how do you know you're selling it for the right price? How do you know you're accepting the right offer? There's just a lot that goes into it. And yes, Zillow and Redfin can give you some ideas on what prices are, but those are computer models that can be off 20, 25% in some cases because they don't know the condition, they don't know the exact location, they don't know the amenities. There's a lot that goes into it. I have bought a few houses from Zillow. I've bought houses from Craigslist. I've bought houses from Facebook, from people trying to save money. And the simple fact is you usually don't save money trying to sell it yourself without an agent. You could get lucky, it might happen, but the numbers over and over and over say you sell a house for much less not using an agent than when you are using an agent. And that primarily is why real estate agents have survived, and they probably will continue to survive. Now, there are some sites that will offer lower fees, lower commissions, things like that. Like I said, every commission is negotiable. You don't have to pay 3% or 6% or 7%. You can shop around. You can try and find agents that will charge less. It's up to you. Sometimes you get what you pay for, though, so that's something to consider. And a lot of these places will advertise putting the house in MLS, which is a multiple listing service, for a flat fee. You also have to be careful with that because a lot of states, including Colorado, where I'm at, have made it illegal for low service companies to come in existence just to put your house on the MLS. The MLS is run by real estate agents, real estate brokers, and it's the primary way most real estate agents find houses to show their buyers. And the Real Estate Commission in Colorado has decided that there is no low service, no service real estate agent. Every agent has a responsibility to take care of their clients, to look out for their clients' best interests. And just putting your house in the MLS is not doing that. So it is not legal in Colorado to simply put your house in MLS and do all the work yourself. So that is something to consider as well. It's different in every state. But again, putting your house in MLS is just one way to market it. It is not the entire process of what real estate agents do. All right, so that's all I've got for this video. I know a lot of people feel very strongly about this subject, so please leave comments below. I'm happy to respond and try and help any way I can. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up. Always enjoy that. And hopefully this helped a little bit for some of you out there. And if you want more information, again, check out investformore.com. Have a lot more information on all types of subjects real estate related. Thanks a lot.